Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm gonna call my show the Peter Shit Show today because another year is gonna pass without me making some progress with what I'm gonna be talking about today. 10 years ago, I was living in New York City, and I discovered how painful it was to go it alone in our society. What had happened was I was working at a rather large startup company, and I one day I had stayed really late. Most of my colleagues had family commitments. They wanted to spend time with their kids after school. Some of them had older kids actually, and I had stayed pretty late to work on this problem that had baffled all of us for several weeks at this point. It was 8:30, 9 o'clock when I came up with a radical solution. I couldn't believe how well it worked. And I so badly wanted to celebrate, but when I looked around, everybody had left. I mean, we were working in a high-rise building, and our team and the sister team of us, we must have had 30, 40 people. Nobody was there. I was the only one there at 9 p.m. I so badly wanted to celebrate. And if that wasn't bad enough, I don't have all that many friends outside of work either. So I stood up on top of the desk and I jumped up and down to celebrate, and I accidentally broke the chair that I was sitting in. And so I was so upset I didn't have anybody to celebrate with. That was a big result. The next day, everybody was impressed by it, but at the moment, I didn't have anybody to celebrate with. And then I got on the subway train. I still remember what train I took. And it dawned on me that I don't have any food ready. You know, I still have to cook a meal or something. And so eating out is not exactly inexpensive in New York. Granted, I was making good money, but it felt like, gee, did I just understand that right? Not only did I stay late to come up with this beautiful result, but then it's costing me something, right? I have to go eat out or something. And when I went out to look for food, and it was nice. I got to know what would become one of my favorite restaurants in New York. I have food allergies as it is. Finding restaurants that work for me is tricky enough. But and then I went out to another time. I went out to that same restaurant, and I think one of the waiters there was upset. He was upset that I was hitting on one of his coworkers, and so the waiter was Japanese, and he didn't have that bad of an accent because I heard him speak at other tables, and he didn't have that bad of an accent. But when I asked him about one of the other dishes to see if it would be suitable for me, he pretended not to understand what I was saying. He exaggerated his accent even more, and so I didn't want to tip him. I think he was upset because I was tipping his coworker so much better than I was tipping him, even before the whole allergy incident. And so the bill came out to about $38 and something, and I gave him 40 and to keep the change as a tip, and he was really upset. And as I walked out to the subway station, he chased after me, exaggerating his accent even more. Excuse me, excuse me. And as soon as I got on the train, I laughed out of control about that. And uh, that's just one of the wonders of being single, right? Had I not been trying to chase his coworker, that might not have happened the way that it did, right? But I'm gonna have to find out if Unfortunately, the restaurant closed, and I never really got any. I never really stayed in touch with his coworker. She and I had talked about. She was going to school and at Columbia University, and we had talked about. This was in 2013 and 14. The precious metals had just taken a big beating from the bubble, and so I got her involved in that. And the last time I went there, I tipped her a 1/10 ounce of gold coin. So how many different metals have I given as tips? at restaurants. One, two, five different medals that I've given as tips at restaurants. Some for exceptional service, some just as a joke. Bonus points if you can name the other four. But that's just one of the wonders of. Right now, I'm a little bit stressed because I get my car insurance premium bills every August and February. Actually, the reason I get them in August is kind of funny. What had happened was in 2016, I got into a car accident. And I was so traumatized by that, I didn't drive for 8 months. And then I bought a Mitsubishi Lancer, and I quoted with a few insurance companies, and I got a rather high risk policy. Although it was pretty good deal, I would say, considering what had just happened 8 months earlier. But after the accident had expired from my driving record in August of 2019. On the very day of the anniversary, actually, I went out and got another policy with Geico, which is what I have right now. And it's the artifact of that is I still get my insurance premium bills every anniversary of that accident, and so it's a reminder every time, it seems. I don't know why I did it I couldn't even wait one day. It wasn't even that big of a difference. I don't know why. It was just a feeling of I want to get this off of my chest. Let's get it done with. The accident is history, and it felt really good to do it on the anniversary of that accident. And unfortunately, I haven't gotten into another accident, not of my fault at least, since then. But ever since at the beginning of the pandemic, my car insurance rates have been creeping up. They've almost doubled since the beginning of the pandemic. And when I was talking to one of my friends, I discovered that a big part, or at least a part of the reason for my insurance rates being what they are, is that I'm single. It's really insulting when you add. I mean, none of these things on their own would be a big deal, right? Having to stay till 9 p.m. to do what was my dream job, a-okay, right? Not having time to cook for myself, also a-okay, right? A waiter being funny with me because I'm single, also a-okay. Car insurance being a few percentage points higher, yeah, I can do that. But it's the whole package. A lot of people don't see it that way, right? A lot of people don't see it that way. I feel nickeled and dimed to death. I mean, none of these things will directly kill me. But the insurance premium last August was what pushed me over the edge. You got to remember what else was going on at the time. I don't know why. I love recording videos in elevators. If I can get the door to close. You got to remember what else was going on, the drama that was going on in my life last August. I was single. I had nobody taking care of me during COVID. That's another piece of it, right? Nobody taking care of me. There was a heat wave, and when I went out to get my favorite comfort foods, don't forget, I wasn't doing well. I didn't have the money. I was trying to put aside as much money as I could for my hope to start a full blown art career at some point. But right now, I'm just making stuff and selling it, and so I've been putting aside a lot. And so I wasn't about to order on Uber Eats. That's what my friends suggested, and so I went out with COVID during a heat wave. I was scared to death, and it probably showed on my face, and it created a lot of drama. And so I have since learned, here's what I'm going to do in 2015. When I go out and I'm well, and it's 70 degrees outside, I'm still going to say hello to everybody around me, right? The janitors, I teach in a community college, the police officers, all the other workers in that facilities, right? And so it will come in handy when I need it, probably. It already has. For one day, I was just really stressed out, and I think it has already come in handy. But I got the car insurance after dealing with all that and almost getting myself in trouble. I then got the car insurance premium, and it was a good 20-30% more than I had paid just 6 months earlier, and that's when I swore I had to return to the dating scene. It was a very rash decision, but it has turned out very well. Uh, I don't know what to do though. I'm not lonely by heart, but by societal standards of needing to get, it's kind of weird. I don't know what to do. In an ideal world, I would not be lonely at all, right? In an ideal world. So it's kind of just a dilemma, right? If I have the same insurance premiums, if I have the same responsibilities, if I had the same kind of, like I said, I don't have somebody cooking for me. But if eating out were just as cheap as eating at home, right? Which it kind of is in Taiwan in some ways, right? Right now with my family in Taiwan. Oh my God, I wouldn't mind being single at all, right? If we had, we weren't so disrespected for being single. I could die. That would be fun, right? Here in Taiwan, people don't seem to disrespect singles as much. I was just, I'm staying in a hostel. I was just viewing some fireworks with other people who were coupled up in some way, right? And that would never play out in the United States, right? Anyway, I don't know. Feel free to offer suggestions if you want to make a donation to cover the difference in that car insurance premium, because that's been a big soreness of mine. I'm not really asking for it, but it wouldn't bother me if somebody wanted to do that, right? If you want to cook for me from time to time, wouldn't bother me at all, right? All right, so this is the Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum.